they get all that strength to swim really fast and open up their tail. Now, a dolphin's tail flukes on the very end actually have no bone in them. They're all made out of cartilage, so just like our ears or the tip of our nose would be. Now, since that rope was so tight, it actually cut off the blood flow that would go to Winter's tail flukes. Without that blood getting to those tail flukes, the tissue ultimately died, which is left Winter without her tail. Now, Winter does have a prosthetic tail, so you hope there on the end showing up for you guys. Now, Winter does use a prosthetic tail. If you came to the aquarium today expecting her to be wearing that tail all day long, you might be confused to see her swimming around without it. But Winter actually only uses that prosthetic tail for physical therapy. So it's very similar as if you and I were to go to physical therapy to work out a muscle. We do not do that all day long. We'd get pretty tired if we had to do that. Same with Winter. We only use that tail to work out the muscles that Winter doesn't use on a daily basis. So going through the rehab process, Winter learned to swim all on her own without a tail. Now you watch her swim around, she swims in up and down like motion, just like this, just like a typical dolphin. Winter actually swims side to side, so she swims more like a shark or a fish. Now because of the way she swims, she developed muscles that a normal dolphin wouldn't have. She has very large lateral muscles, and she wasn't using her other core muscles on her back and her belly that support her spine. Now because of that muscle development, she was getting a form of scoliosis, which is the curvature of your spine, just like you and I could get scoliosis. Now the reason we put that prosthetic tail on is to work out those muscles on her back and her belly. We have her pump that tail nice and smooth up and down to maintain all of those muscles. Now these muscles on her core are really important in supporting our entire spine. It's the same case for Winter. Having really strong muscles here and using those muscles is really supporting that spine and ultimately preventing the scoliosis from occurring anymore. Now we only put that prosthetic tail on 1 to 3 times a day, and we make every day different. Just like you and I go to the gym, you like variety, you like things to be different, we like to be challenged in different ways. It's the same case for Winter. If we did the same routine every single day and put that tail on the same exact time for the same amount of time, it could get pretty tedious. So our challenge as a trainer is to make every session fun and different and positive. So that's why we do all of our sessions different with her tail, so that she never knows what's going to happen each day, and it makes her more excited and more engaged to do those training sessions with us. Now throughout the day, you also see us doing another type of physical therapy. We also stretch Winter's tail area. Now stretching muscles is also really important, just like when you and I stretch a muscle before we use it. So you will see our trainers pushing down on her peduncle area, getting a nice good stretch there. Having that flexible muscles gives Winter a nice wide range of motion when she does have that tail on. So stretching is something that we do throughout the day as well. Well, now to get to some of the questions you guys have for me. My first question is from Emerson, who is visiting from Minnesota. And he wants to know, are there any other dolphins in the world that have a prosthetic? Winter is in fact the only dolphin in the world with a prosthetic tail. So she is a one-of-a-kind case. Now because of that, we monitor everything that happens with her body as she grows and gets older. In case there was ever a case like her, we would have all this data, all this knowledge, because we have Winter here. So she is in fact the only dolphin in the world that has a prosthetic tail. So it's pretty cool to see her use that throughout the day. Now my next questions are from Rowan and Kristen, and they want to know, how do you become a dolphin trainer? And do you have to have a degree in marine biology? We actually don't have So I don't mind example that I was actually an intern here for about 6 months before I got hired on as a trainer. So internships are really key in getting your foot through the door and getting into this field. Now to get into the marine animal field, particularly, it's also really important to be a good swimmer. At most marine facilities, in order to get a job, you do have to pass a swim test.
All right, guys,
You do an annual swim test here as well at this facility to make sure we're maintaining our swimming skills since we are in the water a lot with these guys. So it's really important to be a good swimmer as well if you want to work with marine animals. My next question is from Rory. He's visiting from Massachusetts. Go Patriots. I'm from New England as well. How do dolphins sleep? Well, dolphins actually sleep in a pretty different way than you and I sleep. The reason being is because of how they breathe. Now, dolphins are actually conscious breathers. They think about every breath that they take, which is very different than you and I. We breathe automatically. So when we go into our deep sleep at night, we breathe throughout the night without having to think about it. Our body naturally does it. For these guys, they are actually thinking about every breath that they take. Their brain function is telling them to open up that blowhole, which is that muscle that actually goes down into their lungs, right on top of their head there. They're telling themselves to open that blowhole, take a breath, and then close it. So they do need brain function throughout the night when they're resting, so that they do make sure they are breathing. So how our dolphins sleep is they actually shut off half of their brain at a time. Pretty cool. I wish I could do that. I'd be way more productive with my day. So how our dolphins sleep is they shut off half that brain, and the other half is alert and awake. It's telling them to breathe. That brain function is also important when they're out in the ocean, because they are looking out for predators, maybe babysitting their young, so they do constantly need some brain function throughout their life. So they will get some rest with just resting half that brain. Typically they can rest the same amount that we sleep in a night. Now whenever they're not in session here, they could very much be resting, which I mean, we could be taking a little cat nap right now. That's perfectly fine. However, at our facility, we do see them getting most of their sleep at night. And that's for a few reasons. One, there's no guests here, it's nice and quiet for them. They're also not getting fed in the middle of the night. Us trainers, we are not here in the middle of the night. We do get to go home sometimes as well. So they do get most of their sleep here at night. Now in the wild, it's very typical for a dolphin to pattern swim when they're sleeping. What that means is they'll get into a repetitive pattern in their swimming motions. Doing something repetitive can use less brain function. We can get like that as well. Doing the same pattern over and over again. Sometimes we do it without even thinking about it. So typically you'll see a dolphin swim in a certain pattern, maybe every 10 strokes they'll come up and breathe. That way it's easy for them and it's the least amount of brain function as possible. Our next question is from Kaden.
perfect.
Was it awesome? How was it, Grace?
Good.
Was it good?
Are you videoing us?